This week, we play and review the Gwent beta, and in the news, we watched an old trailer for Tekken 2.
That was Shenmue 3.
Yeah, my face is tired.
PlayStation teases something new and then hands us a 4-year-old lunch. Square Enix says the possibility of FF15 on Switch is not zero.
So you're saying there's a chance.
And making its return in 2018 is Fear Effect, every boy's first lesbian experience. And Rockstar clamps down on cheaters in a game where people steal cars, rob banks, and kill freely, and more! It's Game Club Reviews with News. All right. Let's start with this PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds exclusivity story. You hear about this, Chris?
No, somehow I have missed PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
PUBG?
Like everybody else in the world's playing it.
PUBG?
And I'm on a gaming YouTube channel, and I haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
Bitcoin to the moon, bro.
Yeah, I've been busy. My GPUs are busy right now. Okay?
You know you're behind when not only have you not heard of the game, but people are already using an acronym for it. You
Yeah.
haven't heard?
PUBG.
Yeah.
Like, what is PUBG? Yeah.
PUBG.
Anyway, so this is a pretty big game. It's if you're in a full server, it's 100 versus each other, surviving FPS. No, it's third person shooter game.
That's third person? That's why I haven't played it. I don't like third person
Yeah, I'm
shooting.
pretty sure it's third person.
It's just run and hide till everybody else kills each other.
Yeah, essentially.
like real life.
Yeah, yeah.
It is the apocalypse. And so it's really huge on PC. It's really exploding. A lot of units sold. It's technically still sort of like an early access game.
Early access, air quotes that you can't see.
Right, exactly. But people are loving it. And they've announced that they are extending their partnership with Microsoft for an exclusivity deal with PC and Xbox. But it's one of those, is there cheese on the cheeseburger things. Every time somebody asks, does that mean it won't be on PlayStation? They always get ducked.
Yeah.
Completely. So
Wait, well, off air, I need you to explain that analogy to me more.
Okay, we will.
So the idea is everybody is confused about it's probably a timed exclusive, which I think is the worst form of exclusivity.
Yeah.
I'd almost prefer a game to just be fully exclusive than time exclusive.
Yeah, and on that note, we're playing Destiny 2 beta next week, even though everyone else already played it on console last month.
Yeah, that's right. So be looking out for that Destiny 2. And we got to do some Call of Duty World War II soon.
Yeah.
D2, the greatest of the D trilogies.
By the way, that's the voice of Josh.
What up?
Thanks for being on the podcast today.
Contributing so much.
Let's talk about this Fear Effect. Did you guys ever play this back on the PlayStation 1?
I did not. I didn't own a PlayStation.
Was it the 1 or the PlayStation 2?
We owned a PS1.
I owned
Yes, we did.
this game. I owned both of them, but I can't remember if it was the PlayStation 1 or 2. It had cell shading graphics. It was sort of, it wasn't a full-on action game. You weren't moving completely freely in 3D space. It was more those pre-rendered backgrounds.
Was it on rails?
It wasn't on rails, but it was like a. Did you ever play like Siberia?
No.
It was a game where it's like you're moving and you have free movement, but where you can move is determined real tightly. Like there's different tracks that are invisible. I don't even know if I can explain this very clearly.
Right.
It's almost like you're on invisible railways
So it is
that
on rails.
branch. But that branch.
Branching rails.
And you choose the branching, and you can kind of go back and forth on the branches. And it leads to nodes where you can might be a computer you go to, and then you got to do some things in the computer, and then like an action scene might kick up where you have to do something, quickly.
Action-y.
Yeah. So that was a really big game back in the day, especially because the second one starred like a high-profile lesbian relationship with a scene, which back in the PlayStation 1 or 2 days was huge. Like,
oh, yeah.
You mean this is well before Mass Effect ever got into controversy over this sort of thing. And I guess it's coming back. It's coming back in two forms. There's a third game coming out, and they're also remastering the first game with all new graphics and everything.
Wow.
So this is a big deal, and people really like this game. It had a kind of a cult following for a long time. And I guess the original one came out in 2000. So it's been quite a while. Oh. So 2000.
Back in my day, we didn't have space lesbians.
We just had normal lesbians that stayed on the ground. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Shenmue 3. Chris, you and I watched this trailer. How great was this trailer?
It was pretty cringy.
Yeah, it's particularly painful considering that Shenmue 1 and 2 were AAA titles for their day. They were really big deals with big budgets. And this looks like it came out the same time period as Shenmue 1 and 2. There was no facial expressions. Did you notice that, Chris?
It's not supposed to be retro?
If it's retro of the worst kind. It's like when somebody makes a disco song. It's like, I don't need that kind of retro. Yeah, the main character's face literally never changes the entire video, and which is super cringy. And the movement is really slow and disinteresting. Like they have this fight.
Well, and this was just a teaser trailer, right?
Yeah. But
so, do we have any idea what the actual game's gonna look like?
Well, it's probably gonna be like the other Shenmue games, which were imagine like JRPG mechanics and gameplay, except in a modern city context. And then when fighting happened, which was pretty like not too often, you didn't fight a whole lot. It's not like a JRPG where you're constantly in random battles, but when you did fight, it was more like Tekken than anything.
So it's like, okay,
right,
JRPG with some death matches in it.
Right. So, just not looking good. I guess that's the news on that one. PlayStation earlier this week teased something new, and for the teaser they showed they had a kind of a picture they posted to Twitter and other social media, and it looked like a console with a drape over it, and everybody started flipping out because when a console maker teases something new coming that looks like a console covered by a drape, what do you think, Chris?
New console.
Exactly. Well, and right when Xbox One X is on the way, so it seems like this
Xbox X, man. Pre-order now.
So it seems like this was like Sony's response. And what did they reveal like a day later?
New controller.
PlayStation 4 GT Edition.
It's got a racing stripe.
It's silver. Does
it have a racing stripe on it?
I think this is a lesson in not overhyping your news. Like, this is not something that needed.
Look stupid.
Right, you didn't need pre-hype.
I thought you said overhyping your nudes.
Yeah, never overhype your nudes.
There's not even a racing stripe on it.
No, there's not. I guess
edition.
the like right there. Maybe?
It's kind of a stripe.
Kind of.
Maybe I'll just get one and Sharpie a stripe on it.
I think it's funny when special editions look uglier than the normal console, though. I mean, look at that thing.
I'll go to AutoZone and get some of those stick-on vents.
It looks like somebody took like a silver spray paint to it, right?
Yeah. James, just bring me your PlayStation and I'll paint it and make it look like a GT edition for you. You could just buy a skin and put it on and it would look like that.
Yeah. There's a game that we could have played for Game Club, but we decided it was too short and we would have just ruined the whole game, but I wanted to give it a mention, called LocalHost.
It does sound interesting.
Yeah, kind of a discussion simulator. Essentially, you are some kind of tech guy, and your job is to
decommission AIs, right?
Decommission AIs, and so you have to convince an AI to erase its own memory.
Shut it down.
Shut yourself down.
Convince AI to kill itself.
Yeah. And I thought that was a really cool game, and I really wanted it for Game Club, but it was too short. We would have just ruined the whole game. It looked like it was about a 30-minute experience. So, but if you're interested in smaller indie experiences, I definitely suggest you go check it out. It was $4.99 on the website, which is nothing.
Yeah, go support indie devs.
Yeah. Moving on, some news from Gamescom, which happened recently. In Germany. By the way, Gamescom is bigger than E3. Something like 200,000 or 300,000 people arrived at Gamescom. Yeah, it's ungodly. So, Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition has a chance of coming to the Switch.
I saw something that said Final Fantasy 15 is going to need something like 160 gigabytes of drive space.
Oh yeah, I heard
something
about that.
So 3 Switches.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck getting all that onto the Switch.
Final Fantasy 15 is this weird. It's becoming a platform, right? It was basically a JRPG game with some Western influence when it first came out, but now they're making a Pocket Edition. Now the first thing they did is they kind of brought a real-time strategy game to it. You've been probably seeing commercials for this on YouTube and other things. Have you seen those commercials, Josh? Oh, really?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, like a total like Final Fantasy 15 RTS. I found it just interesting how this game it's becoming larger than its own video game. It's becoming this weird platform for them to just continue to release like whatever ideas they have.
Is it worth that?
I never played the original. It just didn't grab me as something I wanted to play. Talking about being a platform, one of the DLCs that probably won't come out, but they had announced, was a VR experience where you go fishing in their game world. So this is the kind of thing we're talking about.
Time.
Yeah. I guess we'll switch from that topic. Oh, I got two of those open. So we got a new game on its way from the people who developed Yakuza. You guys ever play Yakuza?
No, I wanted to. Look cool.
Yeah, it's sort of imagine GTA.
Oh, sorry, 170 gigabytes of hard drive
Oh my
space.
gosh.
Early speculation says.
That's ridiculous. So Yakuza is sort of like GTA in Tokyo. Instead of shooting people, there's a lot of street fighting involved. And
Because everybody knows karate.
yeah,
That's racist, man.
but it's made by Japanese people, so you know.
Prejudice, then.
Against themselves.
It can't be racist.
It's a self-hating game. So the developers of that game are making a Fist of the North Star game. Am I the only person who can be excited for this? Have you guys ever watched Fist of the North Star?
Yeah, that's all you, bro.
Okay. Fist of the North Star was an 80s anime that everybody loved. It was one of those... Jeez.
The weeds, and there's James just in the middle of the weeds.
I just need a handout, guys. Come on. Give me a chance, bro.
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star was one of those 80s anime where it's like guy gets punched in the face and his head explodes into gory blood. Like a super like post-apocalyptic, incredibly violent anime.
Yeah, rad.
And so that'd be totally cool as a
Yeah, that sounds good.
GTA style
No, that
video
sounds
game.
good. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And that's the only news about that.
Since you're all a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, moving on.
Back to the highway.
So there's been some more explanation from interviews about the Dishonored 2 DLC.
When's that come out? Do we know yet?
I think it comes out soon. I don't have the date in front of me. So,
All right, go ahead and say what you're going to say. I'll look it up.
Okay, yeah, you look it up. So Death of the Outsider. And what I thought was interesting is I'm going to read a little bit here from the description. It takes place several months, by the way, I'm getting this from GameSpot. It takes place several months after Dishonored 2. Emily Caldwin has departed Karnaca and returned to the throne as the Empress of the Isles, leaving behind much of the chaos that occurred in her father's homeland. When Billy Lurk, under the alias Megan Foster in Dishonored 2, finds a lead on her old mentor Dowd, the assassin that murdered Emily's mother and the central character of the Knife of Dunwall and the Brigmore Witches expansions, she goes back to her old ways as an assassin, pushing her to accomplish a certain task that would seem to be impossible. Falling back on her old skills, even aiding her mentor in the fateful assassination that pushed Dunwall into chaos, Billy Lurk is given powerful artifacts and experimental gear to take down a number of marks to reach her true target, the Outsider, the Void deity who's made a large impact on the fates of those marked by him within the Isles. And I'll skip the rest of that. Something I found interesting, something from this interview with GameSpot that was new to me, was this isn't just a side story, which is what I was assuming. It's actually supposed to be closing out the Dishonored main plot, like the entire arc.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Chris?
Kind of sad. Well, I looked it up. 15 September.
Okay.
Release date. So a couple weeks, we'll probably be playing that. So.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding? We're going to be playing it.
Okay.
I'm a little sad because I don't want to see the Dishonored universe end.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't said the Dishonored universe is going away, right? Just the story arc is completing.
Yeah, they did say at one place, and I can't remember where, because I was just browsing the internet at the time, but they said that if there's ever more Dishonored, it'll be all new characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ever feel like they didn't quite... Like, they gave us this great universe and great characters, and didn't ever quite give us what they could have?
Right.
You know? Like, I love Dishonored, right? We're sitting here, I got Corvo's mask up on the shelf, but it's like a 95 out of 100.
Yeah.
And I just want that last 5. And I feel like it could really be that 100 out of 100 type thing.
Yeah.
Like that, I'd probably say The Witcher was.
I always felt like I liked in both games you spent some time in sort of the slums.
Right.
And then you spent some time usually in a nicer part of town. Whether in the first game it's like going into the what do you call that place where all the not the bordello, but whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
It's really ritzy, and then you're breaking into like the royal area. And then in the second game there's the that like clockwork building that you break into.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and then there's like the sort of the king of Karnaka. You go into his property for a bit. So, or is it Karnaka or wherever it is that you spend most of the game, whatever that town is. Anyway, but I always felt like it spent too much time in the slums. The visuals around me made me enjoy the game less because they did a really good job of
depressing me. That's the problem I had with Fallout.
Yeah.
I couldn't play Fallout after a certain point. I was like, man, this is just too depressing. It's too monochromatic. It's too bleak.
Yeah, I it seems to me that if they had made more of the game colorful and you spent more of the game in sort of nicer areas...
Yeah, just too good at what it did.
It would have been better at marketing, right? And it would have been better... I mean, I beat both games. I played all the way through them. But often I was not very happy about where I was and like, I always felt like I was pushing through grimy areas.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say that I haven't played other games with grimy areas that I enjoyed, but there's something particular about how well realized it was in Dishonored that it just...
If I wanted to spend that much time in grimy areas, I'd move back to Long Beach.
Right.
Just kidding, Long Beach.
Don't kill me.
I proved my point.
Yeah, you're only proving my point if you get revenge for this. Okay, Microsoft confirms, this is interesting, it's talking to Sony about cross-play possibilities. What do you think about this?
Nope. Games are supposed to be either born Microsoft or born Sony. Any changing is...
It's unnatural.
The actual quote, which I'm getting from GameSpot, is, we're talking to Sony about crossplay. He said, we do partner with them on Minecraft, and of course we would like to enable them to be part of that.
Yeah, because they didn't have a choice on Minecraft.
Yeah. One community to unite gamers. So we're talking to them, and we're hopeful that they'll be supportive of it.
Unite gamers. Good luck.
Well, I mean, you know how this is just because
I
Microsoft's on the ropes.
too, though.
No, you know how this goes. During the PS3 and 360 era, Microsoft was on top, Sony was the underdog. So Sony was all about doing things for gamers, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about gamers. And they even tried to get cross-platform play back then with Microsoft. Microsoft was on top. They're like, shut up, Sony, go away. Now, Sony's on top with the PS4. The Xbox One is on the ropes a bit. I mean, the Sony outsold it like 3-1. The PlayStation's outsold the Xbox One 3-1 at least. And now Microsoft is playing the role of, we're for the gamers, and we're trying to make all these cool things happen. And Sony's like, shut up, Microsoft, go away. Right? That's kind of how it seems, wouldn't you say?
It's kind of like a weird dating relationship, isn't it?
An abusive dating relationship.
And they get mad at each other, and then one goes, they break up, and then
we were on a break.
One of them tries to get back together, and the other one doesn't want to, and then it goes the other way.
Then one gets pregnant.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, yeah, never mind.
So what you're gonna say is there's gonna be a weird marriage.
Well, speak of the devil, we were just recording there, and my computer stopped because Windows wanted me to install a feature update.
Well, I heard you talking about relationships and reminded you that change is a good thing.
That would not be a good thing for me at this point, but yeah, Microsoft, I was on your side until about 4 seconds ago.
All right. GTA Online. Rockstar has said it's going to clamp down on people who use quote-unquote illegal means to rack up more...
Stop using illegal means in our game about being illegal.
Right. In-game money. So they've been going through and, like, I guess, researching players, seeing if they're using illegal means to rack up money in the game, and then removing that money from them if they find them that they have.
I remember when GTA Online first came out and somebody found the exploit for billions of dollars.
Right.
And people were going around just giving away. Like, I was playing in a server and a guy just gave me $50 million.
That's amazing.
And then we were all afraid that Rockstar was going to take it all away.
Right.
So we just went out and tried to spend it as fast as we could. And that's why I own a bunch of Chrome cars.
Oh, that's a great idea. But now, who knows? It's all hearsay, but some people are claiming that they've lost money to these measures and these people who say they've not done anything illegal to
Yeah,
get
they
this
lost
cash.
money because of their microtransaction crap,
Yeah.
right? They try and make you go to GameStop and spend $100 for in-game money. So yeah, sorry Rockstar,
Yeah.
don't feel bad for you.
One
You guys
guy-
made so much. You made $1 billion the opening weekend for GTA.
One user with the name Skyline GTR Freak claims they took away, let's see if I get the number right, $8,498,675 GTA dollars from him, leaving him with only $700,000.
Wow,
And he
that
claims
goes
he's
fast. Trust me.
Yeah, and he claims that was totally legit the way he got that money.
When you drive like I do, $700,000 does not last long.
It was totally legit. All he did was rob banks, kill people, steal cars, and sell them.
This is
I
stupid.
murdered so many hookers for that money.
Yeah, they're just gonna punish their own community and piss everyone off. But there's no other game like Rockstar's GTA. So what are you gonna do?
I know, it's so good.
We should make a game. ATG.
ATG. ATG.
Auto Theft Grand.
Yeah.
Auto Theft
Grande.
All right, well, Chris, let's go ahead and talk about some Gwent.
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 All right, so we're doing Gwent, and I'm doing the Gwent review because I'm the big Gwent player. James and I are both huge fans of The Witcher 3. Played way more hours in it than any person should probably spend in a video game. But,
Who played
you know,
more, you or James?
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't know. So I really liked Gwent though, and James didn't. The Gwent, for people who don't know, is the in-game card game that you can play in taverns and with shopkeeps and stuff like that. And one of the fun things about Gwent is you have to go around the world collecting the cards. So they released Gwent as a standalone game, and it's in beta right now. You can go and play it for free, and I like free games. But yeah, oh man, I'm really bummed. I'm bummed to bring you guys this review because the Gwent they're releasing as a standalone is not the same as the Gwent from The Witcher 3.
Okay, so what are
They
some of
changed
the
the
big
game a lot.
differences?
So there are more power-ups and I don't know if that's the right term. More things that cards can do. You know, it changed the way a lot of things work. A lot of the powers for the factions are changed. The weather effects only apply to your opponent's side instead of your own, so it completely changes the strategy. Yeah, all in all, it feels very different. It plays very different, and it looks very different. And on top of that, I didn't notice the music from the original Gwent game. And when you go and you play Gwent in the Witcher 3
Yeah,
game,
I've played it.
yeah, it always plays, these certain songs and stuff, and I really like those songs. And now I didn't notice them in there, but I don't know, maybe they're coming.
So this is like the game based on Gwent.
Yeah,
In
yeah, that's
reality.
kind of like I wish they'd just taken Gwent, maybe like animated the cards a little bit,
Yeah.
made it look a little slick, and pushed it out just like it was. I didn't need all this new stuff, all the new crap. I didn't need the changing to the effects. I didn't need all the extra effects
Well, the
that
whole
happen after you put
strategy
the
has
card
been
down.
shifted, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Because weather effects are a pretty big part of the game, aren't they?
yeah.
And so for it
Well,
to,
they were.
yeah, I mean in the original, on
Yeah.
The Witcher. So for them to not even affect your side of the board is a pretty strange phenomenon.
Right, and that was a big part of the strategy because maybe you would stack a bunch of players. So you had 3 rows, kind of close, mid, and long range. And like the ice effect would affect both front rows.
Yeah.
So if you see them stacking up a bunch of guys in their front row, you play all your guys in
In the
maybe the farther
back.
back rows, and then you drop the Biting Frost, and it takes out all their guys in the front row. But now that it only affects the other side, you don't have to worry about that.
So okay, that's all the negative. Were there any positive things that you liked?
They did animate the cards. They look cool. They look slick. It's got a nice tutorial to help you through it. And they got the original voice actors or used original clips, it sounded like. So there's nothing janky going on. There's
So,
nothing
okay.
worse than that, like when you change the voice actor.
Wait. So all the things you like about it are all things that pertain to the actual original Witcher
Yeah,
game, basically.
so this is the problem. So this is going to be a pretty short review, and this is basically what it's going to come down to. Is if you liked Gwent how it was, then you probably won't like this. If you weren't really that into Gwent, then you might like this. But if you're like me and you used to, load up The Witcher 3 just to go into a tavern and play Gwent, then you might not be happy.
Is it worth trying for free?
Yes, that said, it's a free beta. Go try it. decide for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm just some jerk. And go see what you think. And let us know in the comments.
All right.
Catch you next time.
We at Game Club want to thank you for watching this video, and if you would, please like, subscribe right here, watch a couple extra videos, and keep playing games.